Alright, so today we're going to be talking a little bit about manifestation, particularly in regards to the tree of life, and why some manifestations happen way faster than others. So manifestation doesn't necessarily have to be by a supernatural means. There are mundane ways in which manifestation happens. Me talking right now is a manifestation. Me sitting here and using this device to record my voice is also a manifestation. The here and now is a manifestation. Malkut is manifest from kether. It is the below to the above. And likewise, with the tree of life, if you're going to do some kind of, woo-woo magic kind of stuff, well, or, law of attraction or whatever, and you kind of lack the physical means to go about it, you don't really have a clear-cut physical means, or there's a lot of resistance in the way. Well, for one, you're going to have to go through Hod before Yesod and then to Malkut. Whereas there are cases where you can go from Netzah straight down to Yesod and to Malkut, and in some cases, it's actually pretty common, you can just go from Netzach to Malkut, or from Hod to Malkut. Or you can just do whatever you're doing in Malkut because it's happening right now. So, I'll give you an example with a love spell. So if you're trying to cast a spell on somebody that is either indifferent about you or is maybe even a little put off by you, and you just rely on said love spell or prayer or whatnot, well, then there's going to be a lot of resistance. Now, even the path of least resistance is still going to be pretty disconjointed and a bit bumpy at that, along with just a lack of clear signs. So, because, Venus rules over Taurus, and the moon is exalted in Taurus, Venus, Netzah, moon, yesod, the difference there being that, well, Taurus is a most physical sign. So if you have the physical means to do so, well, then you got the physical means to do so. Then by all means go for it. If you don't have the physical means to do so, and perhaps maybe you're a little more stuck in, you have the ability to do so, but you don't necessarily have the physical means on hand. Say, for instance, you want to be attractive, okay? So you don't want to do a love spell just to make somebody fall in love with you. No, you're going to kind of want to make yourself attractive, because by being more attractive, you're going to, kind of open up a path of less resistance. So, by being attractive and opening up a path of less resistance, well, you got to make yourself attractive. So that means you're going to need geburah and Chesed, or geburah and gedulah, and down through Tiferet, then through yesod, and all the way into Malkut. So you got the force, the strength. You got to have the physical action. And any kind of action, any kind of movement is destructive in its nature. You're pushing something out of the way. You're burning some kind of energy. You're releasing some kind of energy. When you're walking, you're burning calories. when you're, you know, driving a car, you're burning gas, and you're going to have to replenish that gas and those calories that you've burned or whatnot. So there you go. That was the movement. Chesed, Jupiter. Chesed is the benevolence. Because it doesn't matter how much action you take if there's just way too much resistance and you don't really have anything backing you up. Well, then you're not moving very far. Chesed is Jupiter. Jupiter expands. So, this is a bit of a common misrepresentation of Mars and, by extension, geburah. People associate Mars with strength, with willpower, and aggression. So Mars is two of those things, and it's not strength, because physical strength, and by extension, the physical body, that is, well, that's Taurus. That's Netzach and Yesod. You know, Taurus, Venus, and the moon. Then, of course, you got Jupiter. Well, Jupiter expands. Jupiter is generous. Because Jupiter has got to give you the fuel for the fire. Jupiter is being generous by giving you the fuel for the fire and the body for the movement. See, Saturn restricts. Saturn condenses. Jupiter gives you the muscles. It expands your muscles. It expands the amount of calories you got. It expands your resources that you can use to make things happen, therefore be more attractive and get that other person to fall in love with you. And of course, in the most mundane example, if you're already attractive and the person already has pretty strong feelings for you, well, it's going to be a lot easier. There's not too much resistance, and you're not really going to have to go through all those means because the manifestation is pretty much already here. You're already attractive, and the other person is already into you. So it's just a matter of, making the opportunity. And, usually in these cases, there's going to be pretty obvious signs that they're attractive to you, or they are attracted to you, and you're attractive. You're an attractive person, so that's a bit less. Also, I want to add a little tidbit. So when you go from yesod, I state that back, Netzach through yesod, that's 7 plus 9, that's 16. So you go to 10, and then 10, that's Malkut, so you're going to go back down around, and you're going to go through 6, that's Tiferet. Well, there's the beauty. There's the shining, the light. And if you go through Hod, through Yesod, that's 8 plus 9, that's 17. So 10 to Malkut, that brings you back to Netzach. Kether to Yesod, well, if you go straight down from Kether, that already takes you to Malkut, that's 10. That's it takes a lot of grounding though. Because see, in order to do that, you have to go straight down that middle pillar. You can't hit any obstacles in the way. Problem is, there is an obstacle. And it's not so much of an obstacle per se, it's just, really, there's nothing there. There's no road to pass. How can you navigate when you can't feel or see or touch anything? It's like trying to drive when you're blind, with no lights around you. Nothing. I mean, yeah, you might make it, but there's a pretty good chance you're going to crash and burn. And if you're, really that unable to do anything, because it's just so dark around you, I guess you're not even going to have any oxygen to burn to drive that car. and you're probably not even going to be able to get into the car and start the car because you're totally blinded. You can't feel anything. That's Dot. Dot is the abyss. More on that in a bit. So I think we've done a good job of covering the tree of life with manifestation. Hope you all enjoyed it, and well, take care. That'll be it. See each other soon.